It's the afternoon of April 27, and today I am working on the last segment of my railway. I have already bent the first 16-foot pair of rails, and I'm working on my next set. Typically what I'll do is I will work on the inside radius piece first, so I don't have any overlap, and maybe that'll make a sense in a minute. But I've removed the stone in the beginning of this section because I couldn't, this is a point at which the rail changes pitch from uphill to downhill. So I had, my first couple pavers are in the way. I'm doing my rail bending now before I excavate, and the entire railway, if you look at the right hand side, there's a yellow line right here. That is a saw cut that will allow me to remove all the stone beneath the rail, so I can regrade and put in concrete and bolt the rail down. As well as in this phase of construction, which is the inside of our carport / pavilion, we have to do some regrading anyway in order to put pavers in. So getting back to issue, what I typically do is I will connect the next piece of rail. I bolt it in as if it is finished, nice and rigid, so that way when I make my bends, I don't have there's no flopping around of that joint. So I know exactly what I'll end up with when everything is tight, because it's already starting out tight. So step one is I know that I'll have, like I said, a little pitch change. I've got another little pitch change here. So on the far side, I've actually put some blocking in order to allow me to bolt the rail together. And then the next step is getting ready for bending. So if we look closely, we'll see that I put a half strike every foot and a full strike every other foot. And then in the middle, well, I actually didn't do a double strike here, but that's okay. It just helps me to see where I am with my rail. I'll go ahead then. I have 1 foot marks. Typically what I'll do is I'll start on my 2 foot line, and I will put in a bend, and the number of pumps that one decides to do should be consistent across the whole rail. So once I've made one set of bends here, then I will look and see how much it's actually moved, because this rail needs to end up, now you can hardly see it, but there's a set of lines over here. So I'll see how far it moved by just doing every even foot mark. And then I'll work my way back the opposite way with every odd foot mark and see how we come along. And then once I'm done with that, if I need to bend more, I will go between each line. This is an example of what my marks look like. The white lines represent in the places that I have bent. So that way I can keep track of what kind of bends I need to put in for the rest of the rail, and if I've overbent it, I know where I can remove that bend at the same time. So this is the last part of a 250-foot installation. So I've gotten pretty good at this, and it's become pretty easy for me to repeat my bends, and I'm on the home stretch. I'm only going to these pilasters right here, and the project is completed.